Little hail core with this storm that has a severe thunderstorm warning on it. It's for Caldwell County as well as Hays County until 11:15 p.m. Just so that you are aware. So Comal County has now been canceled from the warning, but it does continue for Caldwell, Guadalupe, and Hays counties. And the biggest concern here is going to be for potential of seeing hail up to quarter size in diameter. It's a pretty fast moving storm, and to be quite honest with you, I wasn't even expecting that we would see severe weather develop with this situation, but indeed that has materialized. Severe thunderstorm warning until 11:15 for Hays and Caldwell counties. So it is 11:04 p.m. Friday, 11/25/22. And we are on Facebook Live right now. So just to let you know, for those of you who've been waiting for the heavy rain, it is officially here. I'm Chicago Windler, and this is your Facebook Live weather update. Thunder, lightning, all starting to materialize across central Texas, and it does look like it could be a night where we do experience some pockets of locally heavier downpours. Just something to keep in mind. Michael, hello, hope you're doing well. And for those of you who are watching currently, just want to let you know that there is a fast-moving storm that is making its way northward out of northern Guadalupe County. It was over the New Braunfels area not long ago, and it is pushing steadily toward the north, going to make its way near San Marcos as well as near the Caldwell County area and western Caldwell County very shortly. So just to give you an idea of what we're working with right now, there is a severe thunderstorm warning. It's in effect until 11:15 p.m. And the biggest area of concern is actually right over Redwood, which is in northern Guadalupe County. It's this pixel here of kind of fuchsia color. So you've got the heavy rain that's already pushed into Hays County across San Marcos as well as Maxwell. But I'm going to go ahead and remove the lightning layer here and keep in mind that the possibility of some local spots with some heavy, large hail will be possible. Go ahead and query this little spot that's on the east side of Redwood, not too far away from FM 1977, showing the potential of hail up to about walnut size. Beth, hello. You say no hail. It's just a small spot. Most of you will not be affected. Danny, hello to you. Hope you are doing well tonight. And again, we're tracking a lone severe thunderstorm. What's interesting is, given the setup, I actually didn't think we would have potential of severe weather. Oh, but here's some good news. Right now, what is showing up with the latest scan, did you notice how we actually went from the brighter blue color here, and now we have dropped down to the lighter blue? What that's showing is this storm, which is pulsing, it got strong, and now it's starting to weaken. So if we query that largest little area of potential hail now, it still shows walnut, but I think it is starting to weaken. Just to give you an idea of what we're working with, in the orange shaded area, it is a severe thunderstorm warning. It's in effect until 11:15. Currently, the hail core hasn't yet made it into the CBS Austin area, but it's just about to cross out of northernmost Guadalupe County and into southernmost sections of Caldwell County. So San Marcos, you've got the heavy rain already. The hail core, though, is the main reason that the National Weather Service has put this warning in effect. And as you can see, the hail core is mainly relegated to northernmost Guadalupe County. Let me go ahead and though back up, and I'll show you the kind of the lay of the land. We're finally starting to see the showers and thunderstorms expand across central Texas. This is a loop over the last hour or so. And you can slowly but surely see the march of the showers and storms moving in with the heaviest currently over Hays County as well as over Guadalupe County and portions of western Caldwell County. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here real quickly as well, just to give you an idea of where we stand, which is basically one spot with a possibility of seeing some large hail that is starting to show signs of weakening, which is good news, until 11:15 p.m. And just looking at it, yep, the latest scan is now showing that the hail core has dropped down below 1 inch in diameter. So what had been quarter-sized hail has now dropped below severe limits and is dropping ever so quickly more. So I'm pleased to say that I think that the National Weather Service will either let this warning go, or they may opt to go ahead and cancel it early, just because of the fact that we're currently watching as the hail core with the storm has really started to diminish. And that was the main concern with these storms, with the possibility of some large hail. So just to give you an idea, we do still have a lot of lightning with this storm. And isn't it something? This is like the last hurrah for what has been a very wet stretch of weather across central Texas. But here you go. The northernmost extent of the storms moving through the Kyle area, pushing right over San Marcos, but the severe aspect is farther to the south and east. So if you're watching in San Marcos, even though you are under a warning, the heaviest and most worrisome part of the storm is to your east, a little bit toward northern Guadalupe County. So just to let you know. Again, the latest on this is the hail core, which had prompted the warning, has dropped. It had been showing potential of hail up to about quarter size or in diameter or larger. And now the storm, which is just now pushing into southwest sections of Caldwell County, that hail core has diminished considerably. And so currently it's showing sub-severe hail. So as I query this, it's down to marble-sized hail. So very soon this storm will probably not even be remotely close to something that would be worth warning on. So I suspect the National Weather Service is probably looking at the same thing I am right now and saying, well, probably not worth keeping this warning going any longer. Paul asking about Austin. So here's the thing. I don't anticipate that we're going to see any widespread severe thunderstorm activity. I do think it's possible we may see an isolated strong storm pulse up, which is what happened with this one as well. Those of you in the Martindale area, small hail has now crossed its way into Caldwell County. It is no longer being considered severe in terms of the hail size. The radar very clearly showing that the storm has weakening. Let's see, Mickey says it just missed you in Martindale, just heavy rain. Thank you for your report, Mickey. Right here on the south side of Martindale, there may be some small hail. Beth asking about Bastrop. So the storm has not yet made it all the way toward Bastrop County. Let me go ahead and show you the radar view, and we'll go through and take a look at the northernmost extent. Everyone's got a shot at some rain moving in, but at this point, the heaviest will be with this particular storm that's right over areas of southern Hays County, as well as into western and southwestern parts of Caldwell County. So if you were tuning in a little bit ago, we had some really bright purple colors, which are indicative of this top of the scale where we're talking potential of hail, and those have now diminished. I'll go ahead and take the lightning layer off, although there is a lot of dangerous lightning, so when thunder roars, head indoors. But as you can see, the heaviest of the rain and the big core of the storm, this particular storm that has prompted the severe thunderstorm warning, this little spot right here is where the heaviest of the storm is, and it is continuing to weaken. So what's moving across Kyle and San Marcos and now in Redwood is not in severe weather territory. So I do fully expect the National Weather Service will say, you know what, we think we're going to go ahead. Okay, so National Weather Service saying that they're going to replace the ongoing severe thunderstorm warning and instead put in a special weather statement, basically saying, hey, strong storms around, no longer severe. And so at 11:15, the severe thunderstorm warning, no more, and instead strong thunderstorms possible to impact portions of northwest Caldwell County, southeastern Hays, southeastern Travis counties through about 11:45. So this particular storm has been moving pretty quickly off toward the north-northeast at about 45 miles per hour. Go ahead and widen things out. The question was, what about Bastrop? Right now, Bastrop, you are just fine. There's nothing imminent or in your way. As soon as we get to 11:15, this particular severe thunderstorm warning will also be wiped off the map. And overall, the majority of this activity is pretty benign, to be honest with you. It's just good old-fashioned rain with some occasional lightning strikes mixed in. I'll go ahead and add the lightning back to it. So the strongest of these storms that are pushing in are right over the areas from east of San Marcos and on toward western section of Caldwell County. Those of you in Martindale, in Kyle, and eventually toward Niederwald. You're just going to see some lightning, but the hail core thankfully has diminished with this thing. Let me go ahead and query the lightning with this as well, just to see how much lightning we've got with this particular cell. It's not all that active, 29 lightning strikes, so enough to keep you inside for safety purposes, but at this point it appears that the worst of that cell has come and gone and no longer severe as of about 2 or 3 minutes ago. The National Weather Service confirming that they will not be continuing the warning and they are replacing it with a special weather statement instead. There is also a little bit of lightning with the cell that has pushed north now of Bastrop and is moving its way not too far away from the Page area and moving into Lee County as well. So Fedor, Manheim, you've got some showers and some possible thunderstorms as well. You can see just to the west of Highway 21 and near Highway 290, a lonely lightning bolt there as well. So Bastrop County, you're going to get some heavy rain for a little bit as more storms are expected to develop and continue kind of following in the same footsteps of the previous ones that have pushed through. Those of you out in the Western Hill Country, Mason, Fredericksburg, Blanco, Johnson City, you've got some steadier rain. At this point, no lightning is showing up on here on radar. The next one that we're going to have to watch in this line of heavier rainfall is going to be this cell that's down to our south. It's showing that's got some lightning with it too, so we'll keep tabs on it in the event that it should strengthen any. I'll go back to the hail tracker view just so we can confirm if there are any other cells that seem to be showing any hail whatsoever. And you know what? Doesn't appear that there are. And the little tiny hail core that had been near Martindale is diminishing by the second. I would be surprised if there's anything more than pea-sized hail. Currently showing up between about the Martindale area and the Maxwell area. And just for reference, as far as the size that's showing up, yep, pea-sized hail at worst. So I think that for the most part, this is going to be a rain event and maybe some thunder and lightning mixed in enough to get your attention. All right. I'm going to go back and make sure I didn't miss any other comments. How's everybody doing? I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Long time no talk. It's been busy these days. Let's see. Frankie, good evening. How are you? Beth says, thanks. Yes, you're very welcome. My pleasure. Celeste pouring and Kyle. Yep, you're definitely getting the heavy rain. Thankfully, though, what is falling over Kyle and other sections of Hays County is not severe, though there is some dangerous lightning. I'll go ahead and stop this and I'll put a query on Kyle just so you can see the rain rate. So currently it's showing a 2.5 inch per hour rainfall rate, keeping in mind that the storms are pushing to the north and east pretty quickly. So we will not be dealing with 2.5 inches of rain out of this cell because it's going to continue progressing. But let me go ahead and do a storm track. I'm going to take the leading edge of these storms now, moving through Hays County, and quickly they're going to push toward the Austin area. So we're probably going to see them within the next hour or so. These storms are moving north-northeast at about 45 miles per hour. So current time is 11:16. We're looking at about 11:17 for Mustang Ridge. Bluff Springs about 11:23. Circuit of the Americas and Del Valley area about 11:26. Oak Hill about 11:33. Barton Creek around 11:35, downtown Austin about 11:37, and the Miller area about 11:40, and Camp Mabry about 11:42. So in general, if this cell maintains its current motion, then it's going to bring some heavy rain and some thunder and some lightning within the next hour for much of South Austin, Southwest Austin, and areas generally south of Highway 290. And that's assuming that the storm doesn't weaken or diminish. But right now, that is the only show as far as anything that's even remotely strong. But the severe thunderstorm warning, good news, has ended. All done. So still some lightning that's continuing to push northward. And then as mentioned, this next cell is the next one that we'll have to keep a closer eye on. I'll zoom in a little bit closer for those of you who may have family or friends that are a little farther south near Seguin, Alum, Marion, and the Stockdale area. And that's all going to head north of I-10 and eventually push on toward Caldwell County and yet again toward Hays County. So there you have it. Let me go ahead and stop with the severe weather coverage and instead just go through our regular Chicks chat. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer them along the way. Stephanie says, just whenever you in Bastrop, light shower, few mild thunder booms, nothing we can't handle. That is what I like to hear. It's a Friday night. Everyone's probably still stuffed from eating leftovers again and again. We have done a good job at our house of making a good run at eating all the leftovers. We had two pies. We had a pumpkin pie and we had a pecan pie. The pecan pie is done. It's been waxed already. Speaking of pecans, I have a story that's going to be coming on CBS Austin News tomorrow night, Saturday night at 10 p.m., talking about pecans, which, by the way, many of you probably know that the state tree of Texas is the pecan tree. So I went out to a pecan farm and talked to them about the season, and I can't wait to put that together and share it with y'all tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. All right, so let me head back to the top of the show. We'll go through some of the stats and everything that you need to know. Rainfall has been interesting. We've had, I think it's now 15 of the last 25 days where we've had measurable rain. It's been pretty impressive. That said, we are just barely above average for the month, about a third of an inch above average. That will change overnight and into the early morning hours. I'm expecting that we'll probably see on the order of half an inch to maybe as much as 2 inches of rain, give or take, depending on how things play out. My radar app just said lightning strikes nearby, so even up here in North Austin, we're just about a mile away from the Domain is where the TV station is. Lightning strikes detected. Sylvia says, a little startled by thunder rumbles. First thought someone at the door. Yeah, in your own little food coma, yeah. It is, again, the last hurrah with what has been a very wet stretch of weather. Here is the 7-day forecast for you. I think that the rain will wrap up probably by 8 a.m., if not slightly before then. So I went ahead and included a lonely 20% rain chance for the early morning. But if you don't wake up until about 8:30 in the morning, you will probably be dry all day with developing sunshine. It'll be a breezy day and altogether a pleasant day. Something about sunshine that kind of like energizes everyone. 61 degrees your high temperature, so still, a little bit cool. Our average high is 68, and it's been 2 full weeks. Veterans Day was the last time that we saw temperatures into the upper 70s for highs. Granted, that was the day that a big strong cold front came through, so those 70s were early in the morning, and then temperatures fell quickly into the 50s by later. But we will finally see a return to the 70s by Sunday, up to 72 with sunny skies. Monday, mostly sunny, 74, and we could be really close to 80 degrees by the time we reach Tuesday. Enter another weather maker. Not really. It's just going to be a cold front that pushes through. Now, for us, I don't anticipate much happening, but I'll have to keep an eye on things because to our east, northeast Texas into Louisiana, there is quite possibly potential to see severe thunderstorms develop. Would be Tuesday night into early Wednesday. For now, the CBS Austin area is not highlighted in the risk, but possibly as close as, say, the College Station, Bryan College Station area, and points to the east, there may be a threat of severe thunderstorms. So just keep that in the back of your mind. And that would be with this front that comes through Tuesday night into Wednesday. Behind the front, we start to see temperatures cool down. We're in the 60s on Wednesday and then back into the 50s for high temperatures once we get into Thursday. So if anyone's just joining right now, we could stand down on the severe weather concerns. The severe thunderstorm warning that had briefly been in effect for parts of Hays and Caldwell Counties, I should say, was allowed to expire, and that storm is no longer severe. So good news on that, and I'm kind of keeping track on my other laptop computer, and the hail core has absolutely diminished. So not even pea-sized hail at this point expected with that storm that briefly pulsed up and briefly showed the potential of having some hail. So no longer a concern. I know hail damage is no fun. So through the overnight, we could see up to about 2 inches of rain, give or take. So far, the rainfall totals have been underwhelming, to say the least. We've got 0.07 inches that has been recorded so far at Camp Mabry, but you can see there's water on the lens, and there is road spray and drizzle even falling before the storms arrive. Temperature sitting at 57 degrees as of 11:22 p.m. Here are the storms on the move, and as mentioned, it's this right in here through northern Hays County, pushing toward southern Travis County, that is going to be the most likely to bring us the heavier pocket of rain. And as you saw, a poor network connection. I'm actually connected to the work network. So if it's wigging out on me, I have no explanations. Blame the work servers. But you can see there are the pockets of lightning near Seguin and heading northward across I-10 and then into northernmost Hays County. So from Kyle to Buda and now heading into South Austin. You've got the lightning that is starting to blossom and some heavy rain to go along with it. I'm going to go ahead and check and see if, this is assuming that the connection will let me do it. I was going to check and see how much rain has fallen just in the short time that we've been watching these latest showers and thunderstorms develop. So this is from the LCRA. This is going to be the last 6 hours. I'm just curious to see if any of the rain gauges down south. Oh, you know what? I don't have this with the Guadalupe Blanco River Authority has several gauges that are down in southern sections of Hays County. Let me see if I can pop those up with my other map. It does look like that there have been some spots that have picked up, well, per the color scheme, it looks like there may have been some spots that picked up a quick inch, inch and a half of rain, not too far away from San Marcos. But I don't have any gauges there to confirm or corroborate this. But 1.4 inches, this is a radar estimate of the rainfall that may have fallen through that area. Do a little bit more of a radar tour just for those of you wondering what's going on and what to expect. The heaviest, as mentioned, those two storms, the one that's heading north out of Seguin and the one that's heading north toward Austin with the thunder as well as the lightning. And we'll go ahead and say rainfall rates of over 2 inches per hour, but they're tracking pretty quickly to the north and northeast, which will limit the amount of overall rainfall totals that we see. Go ahead and clear this out. And so Caldwell County, for now, you're in a lull, but you will see more rain move in. Fayette County, you saw some storms move through earlier. Those have started to subside. The storm that pushed through earlier across Bastrop has lifted quickly to the north and weakened. So those of you in northern Lee County and northern Bastrop County from the Elgin area up toward Lexington and across to Blue, not as strong or heavy. And you can just see that the lightning has also diminished with that batch of shower and thunderstorm activity. And basically, I just anticipate that we'll have periodic moderate to heavy rainfall through the next, let's say, 5 hours, wrapping up pre-dawn for most areas. And it would surprise me if we see anything significant in terms of severe weather at this point. It does look like that next storm, the one that's moving northward with the core of it east of Seguin, heading north toward Luling. Now that I'm looking at one more thing, and I'll go back and look at that storm again, it does look like it's developing a small hail core. Brian, just gonna miss Cedar Creek, might catch the next cell from the south. Yeah, very possible, Brian. Thanks for your update. All right, so Cedar Creek is just to the east side of the Travis-Bastrop County line as you're heading across Highway 71. And basically it's going to thread the needle, that cell that's pulling northward out of eastern or western Caldwell and northern Hays counties. So the one that is right now to our south, just to the south of Caldwell County, it is showing some small hail that is possibly up to about a 1/2 inch in diameter. You have to have 1 inch diameter hail before you before it's considered severe, but it does look like that's starting to get a little bit more organized. So I'm going to go ahead and check the hail tracker and see. Oh, tiny, tiny. See this little bitty, itty bitty pixel of purple right there? It shows hail size out of range, but this will catch up in a bit. The other radar site that I'm looking at is suggesting that there might be hail up to about a 1/2 inch in diameter. So really that's the only other cell that is one to watch as it continues tracking northward as well. All right, let's go and look at some of the latest high-res computer model data so we can get the latest potential for how much rain could fall through this upcoming overnight. So this is the big picture. We've got this swirling area of low pressure that's way out in far west Texas. I'll go ahead and take it off so that you can see that there is snow flying across eastern New Mexico, parts of far west Texas, the mountains, even Midland, Odessa earlier reporting some snow. So that swirl there in the upper levels of the atmosphere is basically the big weather maker for the next 24 hours for our area. And we're starting to see the rain enhance ahead of said area of low pressure. So here's a look at high-res computer model starting at 1 a.m. Current time is 11:28. And as you can see, there are pockets of heavy rainfall possible as we head through the overnight. You know, we've already got some here and there. We should see more. Let's see, Kevin says, what's the forecast for Rockport, Texas next week? Let's see, down on the coast, I don't think there are any big weather makers or any coastal lows that are expected to develop. The next cold front that's going to be affecting the coast will be on Wednesday. For us, it'll be Tuesday night, but by the time it gets down to Rockport, it'll be Wednesday morning. So temperatures will be warm. It'll be pretty humid for the first couple of days, heading through maybe Monday and Tuesday of next week. Safe travels, have fun. Hope you have good weather when you're down there. Let's see, Sylvia's not ready for 80-degree temperatures again. Let's see, Connie lost power for a few seconds, and Kyle, lots of rain, some loud thunder. Thank you for your report. Appreciate that. Okay, so now let's look ahead to 2:30. And occasionally you'll see that there are some pockets here of pink that are showing up on this computer model simulation of what could materialize through the overnight. And that could correspond perhaps to some pockets of small hail here or there. So again, most of our area is still going to be raining around 2:30 in the morning. As we head toward 4:30 in the morning, we start to see the heavier intensities of rainfall push farther toward the north and east, and the tail end starting to move toward our southwestern areas, south and west of Fredericksburg. By about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, the majority of the steadier rain and storms have moved out. There may just be a few more ragtag batches of shower and storm activity after the sun comes up. And then by the time we reach 9 a.m., we are seeing sunshine develop, and that's it. That's the last hurrah. That's the last of the rain. So mostly sunny skies the farther to the south, partly cloudy skies farther to the north as we head toward lunchtime and then on into the afternoon hours. So I think for the most part, it'll be a nice day. It'll turn into a breezy day as well, with west winds that could be 10 to possibly 20 miles per hour. As for rainfall, this again is just a possibility. This is one of the high-res computer models. As we know, there's that one spot that's showing radar indicated areas near San Marcos already an inch, inch and a half. So I always tell people, this is not gospel, this is just guidance. This gives you an idea. Everyone has a fair shot at least a half an inch of rain, and maybe a few spots could reach as much as 2 inches of rain. Natalie, hello. You say raining steadily in Round Rock, lightning earlier. Thank you for your report. Hope all is well. Hope you had a fantastic Thanksgiving and Black Friday and beyond. All right, so another look at the big picture. Granted, we are now at 11:30, so let me scoot this beyond 10:30. And we'll show you that there should be pockets of rain continuing all the way through the overnight. And then we'll watch that area of low pressure out west. Note temps in the 30s in Midland and in Lubbock, but not for us. That low will continue to lift its way toward the north and east. As it does so, we should clear out. Look for clear skies by Saturday night. Look for sunny skies all day on Sunday. It should be lovely. All right, temperature-wise, we see the rain wrap up. We see the sunshine develop, and temperatures warm into the low 60s for your Saturday afternoon. Even warmer still on Sunday when we could soar up to 72 degrees. It's been an interesting stretch. We had multiple days with highs only in the 40s, so much so that now 60s almost seem warm. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like yesterday when it was warm and humid, we had a high of 68. I found myself going, whoa, what happened? It's so warm. So just imagine what it'll be like on Tuesday if temperatures get close to 70 degrees. And then comes that next cold front that pushes through and drops us back down again. So there you have it. Radar still watching the strongest right over the airport. I think the majority of air traffic has probably made it into town by this time of night, but occasionally, whenever there is lightning in the vicinity, they'll do a temporary ground stop for airport workers so that they can stay safe. Wouldn't surprise me if they do that just because of the fact that there's lightning over the airport. Downtown Austin, just a matter of time before this heavy rain batch reaches you. It'll probably be there in about a 10 minutes time span. It's no longer severe though, which is good. And then the area farther to the south doesn't look like it is gaining any intensity as it approaches the Luling area and the Stairtown area, and eventually it'll push into Joliet and Lockhart. And then San Marcos, you already had that heavy round of rain. You've got another batch of heavy rain that is just about to push right into downtown San Marcos and beyond. I do think that by now probably the outlets have closed, so hopefully there aren't any people still shopping. I know on Black Friday the hours can be pretty silly, but hopefully everyone has been able to go home and enjoy the great deals that they got. So there you have it. Those of you in Mason and Llano and Fredericksburg, not any lightning, just some steadier rain. As Natalie was mentioning, steady rain falling in the Round Rock area. Oh, Kevin apparently is going to write a song. That should be interesting. Natalie says, online browsing only today, maybe small business Saturday shopping. Awesome, sounds good. I have a list of stuff that I want to buy, and I usually enjoy doing online shopping, but sometimes it can be so overwhelming. And I feel like with the fact that Amazon has like pretty much anything you could possibly want, and there's so many choices, it can be almost nauseating trying to, especially if it's a product and you're like, oh, I want to read the reviews. And that was us. We were reading reviews on office chairs, and it was, yeah, a lot. So anyway, you guys are all caught up. No big worries for the rest of the night. I think that, could there be another rogue storm that pulses up and gets strong briefly? Yes, there could. Is it likely that we'll see much more? No, at this point I don't anticipate it will be. And I'm looking, and that little tiny spot south of Luling is still showing a very small possibility of some small hail, but I don't anticipate that turning into much of anything else. So there you go, 7-day forecast, all there for you. Those of you who follow me on Twitter, I have it set to where every hour on the hour it is going to tweet out the latest picture of the radar image and the temperatures. If that interests you, go there, you can check it out. Also, you can always go to cbsaustin.com. We have an interactive radar, and you can also download the CBS Austin weather app, all types of places for you to get any weather information that you might need. That's it, y'all. I think I hear the thunder. I just heard a clap of thunder over our studios here in North Austin. But I think things will remain sub-severe for the most part for the rest of the night, with only rare exceptions. I was actually a little surprised to see this one cell that did pop up and get strong, and I'm glad that it has weakened. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for checking in. Have a great night. Have an even better rest of the end of the holiday weekend. Let's see. You know what is so amazing? The National Weather Service is getting a little trigger happy. The cell that, let me go back to radar again, the cell that is over just to the south of Luling does not, I'm going to check a different weather radar site, but I was going to say it's not showing hail that is above severe limits, and the National Weather Service has put out a new severe thunderstorm warning on it. I don't know if I necessarily agree because it currently is not indicating severe hail. However, whoops, sorry, didn't mean to do that. We'll go back to the radar. I'm glad I didn't sign off quite yet because we do have another warning. I'm actually going to read the reasoning. It has sub-severe hail showing up. Let me go ahead and see. Yeah, National Weather Service until 12:15. Severe thunderstorm near Luling, hail up to quarter size, and winds moving north. And it's moving northeast at 50, and there could be winds. Actually, there's not even a specification of wind speeds with it. Winds less than 40 miles per hour. That's really interesting. Okay, so between you, me, and everybody else, the hail core on this that's over Luling has not yet reached 1 inch in diameter, and I have a hunch it, like the one previous to it, is going to pulse up and not likely become any more, any worse than what it is now. But National Weather Service put the warning into effect. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to quickly call our National Weather Service, or not National Weather Service. I'm going to call and I'm going to do another quick little cut in on the air and take care of that. And in the meantime, you guys can watch on Facebook Live. Hi, John. This is Chicago. How are you? Doing well. So we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that includes Caldwell and parts of Bastrop County until 12:15. I just need to do a quick cut in. I won't stay on long. Are you all up to speed on how to do that and everything? Oh, fantastic. Sounds good. Thank you so much. I sure am. All right. I am ready when you are. I'm meteorologist Chicago Windler. Just wanted to let you know that we do have one more severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for the Luling area. Far southern Caldwell County is under a severe thunderstorm warning. It is in effect until 12:15 a.m. and this also extends all the way into southernmost Bastrop County. So just keep in mind that some of these storms that are firing up are pulsing. They're starting to strengthen and there could be some hail that is briefly strong or severe and then they will weaken not long afterwards. So the storm that's over Luling right now does have some potential for some hail. I'll tell you though, I expect what will happen is like the previous storm that briefly had a severe thunderstorm warning on it, it too is likely to weaken. So it'll take just a second. Our hail tracker should show that there's a little bit of a hail core that is right in the Luling area. For whatever reason, it isn't showing up though, but trust me, there is potential for some hail. So National Weather Service did put in a severe thunderstorm warning until 12:15 a.m. So if you are in southernmost sections of Caldwell County and the storm's quickly pushing off toward the north-northeast at about 45 miles per hour, go ahead and stay indoors while thunder roars. We could do a storm track on this for you. The leading edge has now extended northward, heading near McMahon, and we'll track this for you, give you some towns. Right now it's 11:42, or heading toward 11:42. Seawillow, 11:46, Taylorsville, 11:57, Delhi at about midnight, Red Rock, 12:06, and Rockne County 1210. I'm not overly concerned about what we're watching right now, but there is dangerous lightning. There could be some isolated large hail. Please make sure you stay with CBS Austin. We've got you covered online, on air, and also on Facebook Live. You can also download our CBS Austin weather app. Stay safe, stay dry. These storms are out of here by early Saturday. We head you back to programming. Awesome. Thank you so much. If you can just, thank you. If you can keep the crawl running till 12:15, unless you hear otherwise. Thank you. Yep. Appreciate it, John. Bye-bye. All right, you guys. Let's see. Kevin says, riding the lightning. Georgetown, radar Omega showing hail. And let's see. Quarter-size hail, the main threat, was what the National Weather Service went with. It's so interesting. Now it's showing quarter-size hail, but earlier it had not yet reached that. So I thought that was interesting that the Weather Service issued so early on. Ironically, the hail tracker that I was showing, it's still not showing the hail, which this isn't the fault of, this is some type of a weird software glitch because it should be showing the hail core. I'm going to zoom out. I'm curious to see why it's not plotting hail as it should be. Sometimes it's a radar issue. Okay, so there, that's showing the hail, and let me see if the other product will. Nope, it's not. All right, so basically, there are two spots that could have a little bit of hail, and that's the primary threat with these storms, if at all. Rod, hey, no, long time no talk. You say no hail there. So this little spot here, northeast of Luling, is the lone area where there could be hail. It looks like up to just over 1 inch in diameter, which would be quarter-sized hail. Let me go ahead and zoom in and see if we can pinpoint a little better for you where this might be. This is Soda Springs Road and FM 1322, and the hail size would be on Soda Springs Road. Oh, it's not, this isn't going to show you the hail size, but it's probably roughly about 1 inch in diameter or roughly about walnut size. So interesting to see these couple of little storms that have decided that they want to overperform. I don't know how long we will be dealing with the occasional area of hail, but I'd appreciate if any of you all are in these areas and can confirm for me if you're getting any hail. That would be a nice help. But thus far, just kind of watching and monitoring the activity as it's pushing through. And right now we've got just the severe thunderstorm warning that does include this area right here in Caldwell County near Soda Springs Road in the Luling area. And you can see that the warning actually extends pretty far north all the way to Bastrop, but the cell that is prompting the warning is still in just in Caldwell County, but it's all tracking toward the north and northeast. In fact, I think I can show you kind of how quickly this is all racing off toward the north. So hopefully you all are in a place where you can just wait it out inside, away from all of the threats of some isolated damaging hail. Let's see, Sylvia, hello. Hope you're doing well. I don't think I missed any other comments. Let's see. Leslie says, Buda having heavy downpour thunder. Thank you for that report. I appreciate that. I'm sorry I missed it earlier. And I think I may have caught up with everything else as we were going through here. So thank you all for checking in. But the area that I have circled there is the lone area of potential damaging hail, which has prompted the severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 12:15 a.m. So just isolated large hail issues, that's what we're dealing with across central Texas right now. There was the earlier storm that made its way from Guadalupe County. It initially was near New Braunfels and then pushed near Guadalupe County and then kind of fizzled and weakened as it moved northward into the San Marcos area. And now we're watching this one that is in central Caldwell County. Also, you'll see that there is this little speck of blue making its way across Highway 290 on the east side of Travis County near Decker Lake as well as Manor. It's not severe hail, but the blue does indicate that there could be some small hail with it. And then as we look farther to the north, any of the green that you see is generally the lightest shades of green generally do not correspond to hail. It's usually the blues that can be pea-sized hail, and then once you get into some of these purples, the purples can be indicative of larger hail, which those of you in the Tillman area in Caldwell County, it looks as though you are now seeing the best potential near Chuckwagon Road, perhaps seeing some damaging large hail. So heads up for you. I hear rain falling here from our studios in North Austin, pounding down, not really pounding, but I hear the rain coming down as we speak in over North Austin in our CBS Austin studios. So just checking in. Severe thunderstorm warning does continue. It's in effect until 12:15. Current time is 11:48. Winds less than 50 miles per hour. Hail up to about 1 inch in diameter. And I am checking. It looks like there was a report at 11:09 of hail slightly larger than marbles reported in Martindale, that's in Caldwell County. And then there was a report in Geronimo, which is in Guadalupe County, of hail up to nickel size, that's 0.88 inches in diameter. Hail covering the ground at the National Weather Service, that's in New Braunfels. And then there was a report in Bexar County, which is where San Antonio is, near Converse, of 0.7 inch diameter hail, dime-sized hail near I-10 and 1604, for those of you who are familiar with those areas. So there have been a few reports of hail below 1 inch in diameter. Let's see, Brian says the stream froze. Oh, I hope it didn't. It's still showing up here on my end. If it did freeze, then I will, I'll have to fire it up again and see what happens there. Huh. Apologies if it froze. I thought we were still in action. But if it froze, I may have to fire it up again. Let's see. Is the stream still going? That is the question. Maybe it did freeze. Oh yeah, it is still going. I just fired up my phone and I can see. Denise, you're in Wildwood and Bastrop. You say just light rain. Thank you for your report. I appreciate that. And yep, it's definitely working on my end because I'm hearing it. So severe thunderstorm warning does continue till 12:15. It is for Bastrop County and Caldwell County. Radar indicated hail up to 1 inch in diameter, and I have zoomed in on our computer to show you where that is most likely. It's in the Tillman area in Caldwell County where the hail core is. So this right here is the severe part of the storm. Anywhere around it is not severe, so it's pretty small area that we're currently tracking for potential of damaging hail with this storm. Elsewhere, taking a look at all of the CBS Austin area, the only spot of immediate concern is this one right here, Caldwell County. So the warning's in effect until 12:15 for those of you in Caldwell as well as Bastrop counties. Best idea is to stay indoors. And there's also dangerous lightning developing in other areas, so just keep that in mind as well. So the hail core currently between Tillman and McMahon. Some of the streets would be FM 3158, County Road 160, Sand Hill Road, FM 86, FM 713, and K&L Ranch Road. So there may be a small area of potential damaging hail in that zone. I'll go back to the radar view as well. Let me go ahead and save this out. And on radar, you'll be able to see that there are lots of pockets of heavy rain that are currently bringing not only rain but also dangerous lightning. The strongest of which is the one that is currently over Caldwell County, which has prompted the severe thunderstorm warning until 12:15 a.m. Put this into current mode, and I'll go ahead and query the amount of lightning within this severe thunderstorm warning cell. And there are 43 lightning strikes. The previous storm, which that severe thunderstorm warning has come and gone, it had about 29 lightning strikes. So this one does have a little bit more. Let's see, Brian says on your weather app they shifted the warning box slightly east. You were in it, and now you are not. So occasionally the Weather Service will trim or edit the warnings. And then in other cases, maybe it's just a weird GPS thing for all I know. Connie says, I can see you. Glad to hear it. Melanie says, Wimberley coming down fiercely in Wood Creek and in Wimberley. Thank you for your report as of 11:50 p.m. We'll go back and I'll show you radar in Hays County too, so that we can check in on the rain. Here's Wimberley, there's Wood Creek, there's Jacobs Well. And on this radar vantage point, it doesn't look as heavy by any stretch of the imagination as what is currently falling in Caldwell County. Not seeing the amount of lightning either, but yes, there's certainly some steady rain that is coming down. Let me check in on rain rates, and I'll just go ahead and query rain rates for some of these spots. So any of the reds generally are 1+ inch per hour rainfall rates. And as you can see, there's the 4-inch per hour rainfall rate in the severe warned portion of the storm that is currently ongoing in Caldwell County. So again, if you're joining right now, it is 11:54 on a Friday night. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning for Caldwell as well as Bastrop County in effect until 12:15. And the reason is for potential damaging hail. So I'm going to show you where that hail core would be. And it's going to be right here in the area between Tillman and McMahon, which is currently showing possibility of hail up to or possibly slightly higher than 1 inch in diameter. But good news is that the latest radar scan that I'm looking at has shown that the storm is already starting to weaken. So the storm, like the previous ones, is pulsing. It is going to be decreasing, and as it does so, that hail core will be dropping. And it is likely that it won't be too long before the National Weather Service says, you know what, we're going to pull the plug on the warning, and we're going to turn it into a special weather statement, which just is the difference between a severe storm, which could cause significant damage, and a strong storm, which is more of a heads up, be careful kind of thing. But as of 11:50, the National Weather Service keeping the warning ongoing as the radar is currently showing that there may be a diminishing trend in the potential hail. But hail is the reason that there's a severe thunderstorm warning. So for those of you in Caldwell County, near Tillman and McMahon, FM 86, County Road 160, FM 3158, you are all in an area where there could be some potential large hail. Just to give you some more streets, County Road 160, and what is this one? Adams Lane and Vine Hill Road, and FM 3158 north of Tillman, south of McMahon. That's where the hail core is showing the most likely area of large hail. And there's an update. The National Weather Service radar has updated, and now the hail core is just along and north of the McMahon area toward Pettytown Road. So at this point, the hail core is diminishing. The storm does appear to be weakening, but the area I have circled right now in the purple fuchsia color, that is most likely area for possible large hail. And I'll go ahead and zoom in and give you some new town or some new street names. We've got Molasses Road, Alexandra Lane, FM 86, and this is from the McMahon area, Old Colony Line Road, and FM 713, where there could be some severe hail. Northern areas up toward Taylorsville, you may also be experiencing some hail. So that's where the concern is in terms of severe thunderstorm risk. In addition, it looks like there's a little hail core that has built up south of Lockhart and this is going to be just to the east of Joliet. It's not severe yet, but it is a new developing hail core, which is right over Catfish Lane. So those of you who are familiar with areas just along and east of 183 near Oak Grove Road, Burdett Wells Road, and east of Joliet, there's a new developing hail core that is there. And I'm looking elsewhere, still a small hail core that is just north now of 290, north of the Manor area over Manda, and not too far from Seal, and east of Pflugerville. And that's going to be working its way northward out of northeast Travis County and into southern Williamson County, not too far away from the Copeland area. It's not severe though, so the biggest thing that we're continue to watch is the possible hail that is in Caldwell County. Let me go back to the radar view just so you can see where all of the heaviest rain is, and keeping in mind the severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 12:15 a.m. for Caldwell and Bastrop counties. And the reason is not wind, it is not tornado, it is a small hail core, which is right now between the McMahon area and the Taylorsville area and heading off toward the north pretty quickly. I'm going to go ahead and just double check and see what the latest motion is on the storm. It had been moving north-northeast at about 50 miles per hour. I'm going to double check and see if that has changed. So it looks as though northeast at 50, still looking like the motion on the storm, with the severe thunderstorm warning still in effect until 12:15 a.m. again for Caldwell and Bastrop counties, and the reason is for potential large hail. Let me go ahead and take a closer look. And the northern extent of the storms is now just reaching into southwest sections of Bastrop County. I'll go ahead and take the leading edge of the storms, and they're moving northeast at 50, which is going to push us all the way up here. And these are some times for when the leading edge of the storms will likely reach your area. Bateman at midnight, Red Rock at 12:01, Rockney 12:04, Clearview 12:10, Hills Prairie 12:12, Bastrop 12:15, 12:17 for Bastrop State Park, Lake Bastrop 12:19, 12:22 Camp Swift, 12:26 for Sayersville. So those are your times for the lone storm that currently has a severe thunderstorm warning on it for Caldwell as well as Bastrop counties, and a decent amount of lightning with it as well. But the hail core does look like it is continuing to drop in intensity, which is certainly some good news. We appreciate when we don't have to contend with damaging hail, that is for sure. So I do expect that the National Weather Service probably will not continue the warning given the decreasing amount of potential for damage out of the hail. So this is the current look at our possible hail, and the purples are typically the areas that show the highest potential of seeing severe hail, and right now it's a small corridor north of McMahon that might possibly have hail up to about 1/4 inch in diameter. Zoom in a little bit closer, I'll give you some of the some of the roads. FM 86, I may have to dive in really close. Molasses Road, let's see if there's other roads. Savannah Oaks Drive, and let's see, the latest radar scan is updated, pushing the area a little farther north. So Taylorsville, Taylorsville Road, Bee Creek Road, Bateman Road, Pettytown Road, FM 1854, just to the east of Dale and over Taylorsville is where there may be a small location that is dealing with potential for some large hail. And please, by all means, if any of you have a hail report to pass along, I am all ears for it with the severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect until 12:15 a.m. And again, this is basically a situation where we're dealing with low and severe weather potential from a very small hail core that might possibly bring marginally severe hail into northern Caldwell County, which will now be heading into Bastrop County. So moving quickly, going to be brief. Most areas probably not going to be experiencing damaging hail out of this, but some locations could see brief hail. So we want to make sure to keep everybody safe and informed as the storms kind of roll through central Texas. But if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I'm here for you. Ken says, don't move the box just yet. Still plenty of lightning and thunder northwest of Luling. Well, thunder and lightning, yes, but the reason that the severe thunderstorm warning is issued is not because of thunder and lightning. It's because of the potential for severe hail. So that is the box that is right here is the severe thunderstorm warning. And the hail core, which has prompted the severe thunderstorm warning, is this one that is just north of Taylorsville and just to the east of the Dale area. Let me go back and I will show you the radar imagery too, where there is a lot of damage, or there is a lot of hail that has been reported that is sub-severe. We've had 3 reports, one in Bexar County, one in Guadalupe County, and another one in Caldwell County, each of those for slightly below severe limit hail. So there have been some reports of hail. Thus far, I haven't heard any that would be quarter size or larger, but you know, we'll keep tabs on this. Let me stop this and I will query for you the number of lightning strikes. Just a bit ago we had 47 lightning strikes. Now we are down to 35 lightning strikes, which tends to mean that the storm is not as intense now as it had been a little bit ago. So less lightning, not as strong of a storm. Better news for you in the Luling area and other adjacent areas of Caldwell County. With the severe thunderstorm warning currently still in effect, let me check and see the hail core and whether it is weakening at all. And it does look like there's just that small location with potential of some hail, while most of the spots are not dealing with any hail at all whatsoever, just heavy rain in spots. But again, this is Mother Nature saying, take that. Not going out with a whimper. I'm going to go out with a bang. So again, a look at the possible hail north of Taylorsville, south of Bateman, east of Dale, north of McMahon, and the pixels in purple. Those are the areas that have the potential of perhaps having hail up to quarter size, but probably less than quarter size. And this is bordered by Taylorsville Road and Pebblestone Road, FM 86, Morgan Trail, and this is in Caldwell County near Taylorsville, and now pretty quickly pushing into southern Bastrop County. So those of you in the Bateman area along FM 86 and FM 20, don't be surprised if you do see some small hail push into your area. Let's see, Brian's saying, weather nerd question, what's the difference or more accurate for hail bill or hydrometer classification? So if you're looking, hydrometer, if you're looking at an app, let's say Radar Scope, for instance, then VIL stands for vertically integrated liquid, and essentially if you have a very high VIL, then it will plot on a map like this. And the higher the VIL, the higher the likelihood of hail. On the other hand, if you look at the hydrometeor classification and look at that on radar, it's color-coded to show what is most likely to be hail. Oh, hail core's dropped. We've lost our purples. The storm is likely sub-severe now. Let me check and see if the National Weather Service is going to adjust or cancel or what they're going to do. So far they have not listed anything, but I suspect that now that the hail core has pulsed and weakened that they probably will let this warning go. Current time is 12:06, the warning in effect until 12:15. So anyway, the hydrometeor classification is just a good way of being able to look and see, is this most likely rain? Is this most likely snow? Is this most likely hail? Not always perfect, but another good way of kind of diagnosing what could be falling out of the sky. But essentially, hail is balls of ice, right? And they're much different than rain, which is liquid. And so the radar beam will shoot towards things, and depending on what it hits, it will send back a different signal. So hail can appear as a much bigger radar return, which is one of the ways that we can sense or detect. National Weather Service has expired the severe thunderstorm warning for Bastrop and Caldwell County. All done. It may take a while for it to fall off, but they have just allowed it to cancel or to be canceled. I'm going to go ahead and call and let them know they don't need to run the crawl anymore. So stand by. And it's because the hail core has dropped in size, which is good. Hi, John, it's Chicago. The severe thunderstorm warning was just canceled, so you can go ahead and discontinue the crawl. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Bye-bye. You too. Bye. All right, we are done, at least with that. So good news, the hail core has diminished. Brian, I hope that answered your question. And it doesn't appear that very many of you are on right now. I should check and see on my phone. I think yeah. Severe thunderstorm warning has been canceled. Good news there. So even though you're still seeing the box appear here on the radar, the National Weather Service has opted to cancel the warning based on the fact that the severe thunderstorm warning criteria was for potential large hail, and now we have watched as the hail core has dropped. So for me, when I look at this particular product, which is vertically integrated liquid, VIL, if I see it hit the purples, that's usually my, just when I analyze vertically integrated liquid, when I see it hit purple, that's usually what clues me into, ooh, we probably have hail large enough that it might be approaching quarter size. And so once we get back into the blues, I'm like, okay, there may be some hail, but it's probably not that big of a deal. And once we're in the green, in most instances, it's not actually even hailing. Sometimes very small pea-sized hail, but in general, blue for me is, okay, you may have some pea to maybe dime-sized hail, and the purple is usually what would constitute warning possibilities. So as we speak, the only areas in blue are in Caldwell and Bastrop counties where the warning has been allowed to expire. Here is, and again, I'll pull the warning layer off because even though it is expired, our computer software sometimes takes a little bit before it automatically will pull off. So here's another look at current radar. As of 12:10 in the morning, good morning, happy Saturday to all of you. Rain is coming down in Austin now. It's not severe though. The thunder and lightning has picked up through eastern Wilco, so those of you in Thrall and in Taylor and in Copeland, you're probably in Elgin, you're probably definitely hearing it with some noisy storms likely across your part of the area. Looks like one lightning strike I just saw pop up right over downtown Austin. So right in the UT, Central Austin, downtown Austin, St. Ed's, Southwest Austin, on toward Miller, and northward, we are getting heavy downpours with high rain rates. Let's check and see. I'll query some of these reds. 1.4 inches per hour, 2.06 inches per hour, but keeping in mind that the storms are moving so quickly that they're not actually dropping that much rain all at the same time. But I'm going to go ahead and see if we picked up some decent rainfall amounts just with what's coming down already. So it looks as though the areas that have seen some of the heavier rain are anywhere between a half an inch and maybe upwards of an inch now. So 1.6, southeast Travis County, 1.2, probably close to the South Park Meadows area in southern Travis County, and let's see, 1.2 on the east side of Austin. So yeah, starting to pick up on some of those up to 2-inch spots in terms of rainfall. And this is 24-hour rainfall from midnight last night to midnight now. Sylvia says, happy Saturday. We made it to Saturday. Julie says, just heavy rain and some thunder in Lockhart. Thank you so much for your report. I appreciate it. Beth is still watching. Thank you so much. Getting the play-by-play. I'm actually to the point where I'm kind of like nervously watching and waiting to see, will the next storm decide it wants to create some short-term hail concerns as well? But so far, and again, this severe thunderstorm warning has been allowed to expire, so that is no longer on our map. I'm trying to make it go away, but it's popping up. But trust me, the National Weather Service canceled it. So, yeah, I don't really see, as I look farther to the south and west, there are some storms with lightning, but I don't see anything imminent that looks like it's going to cause us any issues, aside from just, hey, it's raining, right? We don't mind rain, especially in the middle of the night. Although, yours truly has to drive in the rain at some point to get home. But I will tell you, I recently replaced my windshield wipers, and I got the silicone ones, and those things are the bomb. It had been a while. It had been way too long since I had replaced my wipers, and so I went with the good ones, and they are worth their weight in gold. I kid you not. Especially with this rainy stretch that we've been having lately. Amazing performance. So I'm like, I'm going to go with the good wipers from here on out. Brian says coming down good here at 812 and Highway 21. Let's go ahead and check in on Brian. Let's go to Bastrop County and check in on Highway 21 and see how things are going. So, and I hear rain over my head here in North Austin as well. So let's see. Right here is Highway 21 and FM 812 in Bastrop County, west side of Cedar Creek, and the leading edge of the rain moving on in. As of now, if you are tuning in at ODark 30, aka 1214, we do not have any current warnings in effect. The severe thunderstorm warning that had been issued for parts of Caldwell and Bastrop County was canceled early because of the fact that the hail core from that storm diminished. So what we've watched so far is that storms have pulsed up and then weakened, pulsed up and then weakened. So we've had a total of 2 warnings, and both warnings were canceled prior to their actual expiration time just because the storms fizzled. They weakened below severe weather limit. So that's what we're experiencing right now. So from Lockhart and up into almost Bastrop is where the strongest of the current storms is continuing to move through, with some lightning, and all the storms are tracking to the northeast at about 40 to 50 miles per hour. I'll go ahead and query this. We had 35 lightning strikes last time around. We are down to 29 lightning strikes. So again, that's just evidence that the storm is weakening a little bit more. Let me go ahead and track for you from the northern extent of the storm in Bastrop County, and we'll go track it 50 miles per hour just to give you some new towns and times. So currently it's 12:15, String Prairie at 12:17, Wildwood at 12:19, Bastrop 12:22, Utley 12:24, Lake Bastrop at 12:25, Alum Creek 12:32, McDade 12:34, Butler 12:39, and to the Elgin Airport at 12:43. Meantime, if you're in Austin, like I am, you're hearing the rain come down. It's heavy. Currently, the area in red is, I'm going to try and find where we are on the, here at CBS Austin. So we are off of Metric and Kramer. As I zoom in, I hear the rain. It's coming down heavy. So there's Metric Boulevard, and there is Breaker, and here's Kramer. Okay, so I am located right here. This is where I am at CBS Austin. I don't know if you can hear what I can hear, but there is rain coming down on our roof here at CBS Austin. So um, still just one lightning strike, but just very heavy downpours. Some of the rain rates are easily 1 inch to 2 inches per hour that are pushing through with this checking in 1 to 2 inch per hour rainfall rates. The storms are moving pretty quickly again to the northeast at about 40 to 50 miles per hour. Those of you who are watching in eastern Wilco, places like Taylor and Thrall, you are getting some thunder and some lightning as well. Let me go ahead and take the leading edge of these and head off toward the northeast at 50 to give some towns and some times for you. Current time is 12:17. We're looking at Sandoval at 12:18, Circleville 12:19, San Gabriel 12:24, Tracy 12:34, and Buckholz 12:38. And off into the hill country we go. Fredericksburg, you've got a little bit of lightning that is approaching you from the southwest. Mason, just some steadier rain. Same thing for Llano. A little bit of lightning far northern sections of Burnett County heading toward Lampasas. So looks like near Naruna is where you've got some lightning showing up. And hopefully there aren't very many people out and about at this late hour on the roads, but road conditions can quickly deteriorate whenever you have these high rainfall rates. Let's see. Charles just got home from a football game in Bastrop. Oh, you just barely made it before the rain. Hope your son, he was coaching, right? Hope he won the game. Hope his team won the game. Hope your team won the game. Beth, you can hear the rain there. Good thundering pretty well. Let's see. Joe says raining in Brentwood. Thank you for your report, Joe. Hope all is well. And Lisa. See, barely doing anything in Georgetown and Walberg for now. I was thinking of Georgetown earlier. It was the night of the tree lighting at the square, and I know it was drizzling and some light rain earlier whenever the lighting was scheduled to take place. That's always a damper whenever you do holiday festivities and then the rain moves on in. So at least northern Wilco is pretty quiet, but eastern Wilco from Taylor and Copeland to Thrall, and then heading off toward the east, eventually toward Milam County, you've got some lightning that is ongoing. Nothing severe though. I'm going to go ahead and widen out the view and put it into motion so that you can see all of the storms are in general moving from south-southwest to north-northeast, and at times some of that rain is pretty heavy and pretty steady, which is accounting for some of those higher rainfall rates. Now I'm going to go back to looking for the hail, which earlier did prompt some severe thunderstorm warnings, and I am pleased to say that I do not have any purples showing up, and there are only just a couple of little pixels of blue. The storm that previously had a warning on it for Bastrop and Caldwell County has definitely made its way far below severe thunderstorm limits. The one that is in eastern Williamson County, on the other hand, the blue could correspond to hail perhaps as large as dime size, but it is subsevere. So Byersville, Bocas, Copeland, and perhaps in time heading up farther north toward Thrall, there is the potential for you to see a little bit of hail. I'm just going to double check and see what the latest hail size estimate is on this one. And it's right now sitting at about 1/2 inch diameter hail for the estimate. That's coming in from the National Weather Service radar site there at Granger. So it would be a pretty good indicator if there were to be any hail. The current look is about 1/2 inch in diameter for that part of Williamson County near Byersville. So there you have it, as the rain cometh down. All right, I'm going to go back and check and see if we've got any updated rainfall totals. The numbers that you see plotted in the black, that's from the Lower Colorado River Authority, the LCRA. The contours that you can see in, for instance, the green, that's radar estimated rainfall. So I can actually query that. It's not a an actual rain gauge report, but it just based on the radar is giving an indication of how much rain could have fallen. And so we already have some pockets that could be exceeding 1 inch in diameter in terms of, not 1 inch in diameter, sorry, 1 inch of rain. That's what happens when my brain is going in multiple directions at the same time. Oh, bummer, Charles. I'm sorry you said that they lost the football game, but just beat the heavy storms. Well, there's that. Yeah, I know there were a lot of folks that were hoping that the rain would hold off so that the Friday night football games and other evening plans could get in. And for the most part, the heavy rain did hold off just long enough. Stephanie says raining in Bastrop, a few large lightning strikes complete with boom. You are so welcome. It's my pleasure. I don't get to do this that much these days. I've been kind of taking it easy in terms of doing the usual Chicks Chat because I've been trying to get enough sleep these days. And so a lot of times I hit the wall, you know, that little proverbial wall where you're like, you hit the point where you're just getting so tired that you're like, you know what, I don't have it in me. So I haven't been doing the chats quite as frequently as I used to. I know it used to be like a nightly thing I would do at any time. But now I'm kind of like, oh, let's reserve it for when it really counts. That hail core in eastern Wilco still hasn't increased. It's still sitting at a 1/2 inch in diameter. So I'm okay as long as it doesn't turn severe. That is fine by me, and no new updates from the National Weather Service either. So we'll take that too. But yeah, the lightning is going to be vivid and the thunder is going to be loud. So some people can sleep through anything. I am a member of the Can Sleep Through Anything club. My husband, on the other hand, does not sleep through anything. And so it's funny, a lot of times I'll wake up because he wakes up, but if it were just me, I would probably sleep right through it. But yeah, the heaviest concentrations right now of lightning, I'll go ahead and take the radar layer off so you can see. We've got lightning, which is currently moving across Bastrop County, and we've got lightning that is currently in eastern Wilco. Those are the two strongest of the current storms. And then we've got some isolated lightning strikes, one closing in on Lampasas, the other one west of Fredericksburg. But for the most part, the night should, knock on fake wood, be one that features just rain and probably not enough even to cause flooding and hopefully not enough to trigger any additional warnings. But hey, we can use the rain, that's for sure. I'm going to check and see how much Camp Mabry has gotten. Just wondering, since that's where we officially keep our records. Updating and checking, and let's see, it looks like picking up 0.16 of an inch was just before midnight, and 9/100 of an inch of rain fell between 11:50 and 12:11, and another 13/100 of an inch of rain falling between 12:11 and 12:15. So yeah, picking up on some rain, we'll take it. Not too shabby. A little bit of rain will be just fine. Heavy thunder, shower, and mist is what the official observation from the National Weather Service is showing, and visibility down to 3/4 of a mile just because of the heavy rain that's pulling through, and that's from Camp Mabry. So needless to say, not ideal conditions to be out and about on the roads, but it does look like the heaviest of the storms moving through Bastrop County as well as through Wilco are at least behaving in terms of staying a little bit lower than severe limits. Famous last words, I just looked and the new parameter on eastern Wilco is showing that there might be another batch of developing large hail that would be brief, but be worth looking at. Okay, so this little core that you can see showing up east of Thrall is starting to ramp up in terms of hail potential. So never say never. Those of you who are between Nowak and Thrall, From FM 112 to Highway 79, there is a hail core that has ramped up a little bit there. I'll see if it's pretty rural out there, but I'm going to see if there are any streets that I can give you for indicators. County Road 424, FM 112, County Road 434, and County Road 436. So there is an indication that basically between FM 112 and Highway 79, there is an increasing hail core that is starting to ramp up, and that is east of Taylor, east of Thrall, southwest of Thorndale, and northeast of Byersville. So that's the next one to watch. And as of now, I don't see any other spots that look like they're worthy of consideration for things going downhill. But yeah, we can just kind of keep an eye. I'll continue to roll this, and I will go ahead and add radar to this as well, so that way we can see the hail core and the radar on top of it. Let me just go ahead and slide that up here. So now what you're watching is you're seeing both the radar underneath as well as the hail on top, and I can kind of toggle back and forth between the two. So that's with this cell that is over the Byersville to Thorndale area and does show potential of maybe some larger hail starting to ramp up there. And I can go ahead and add some small lightning to go along with it. So should we see any of those blues turn purple over that hail layer, then it wouldn't surprise me if a new warning ends up being issued by the National Weather Service on this thing. So that's the next one to watch, 1228. Who's with me? Late night owls, early birds, anybody? As we watch the rain come down. All right, taking the hail layer off, just showing the rain. The majority of our area is really not doing much in terms of anything of note. Just this heavy rain, especially from I-35, points east through Wilco, and also Travis County points east through Bastrop County. That is that. And I'll pop the hail layer back on here and take the radar layer off again. So yeah, eastern Wilco, that's the hail spot to watch. Still rolling from Highway 79. Beth says loud thunder and lightning in Cedar Park. Lisa's still here. I wish I were hanging out at home doing this with the boys. Skippy and Ewok haven't had much love on Chicks Chats lately. I'm sure they're wondering, like, why doesn't she hang out with us doing the chat anymore? It's because I'm usually too tired when I get home. Thrall and Nowak, Thorndale. That is where a hail core is. I'm going to just double check and see. Currently showing 3/4 inch in diameter hail possible. So not quite severe, but the only thing that is currently noteworthy as it is tracking northward toward Thorndale. So Thrall, Thorndale, Sandoval, and eventually toward Detmold, maybe San Gabriel, you could be getting in on some sub-severe hail. Beth says Cedar Creek. Cedar Park, Cedar Creek, one's in Bastrop, one's in Williamson. It's all the same. No, it's not really all the same. So thank you for your update, Beth. I appreciate it. All right, hopefully that storm will behave itself. Just stay blue, don't go purple when talking about the hail. All right, I'll go back to the radar view again. So Bastrop, you are seeing some of the heaviest right now, extending across Highway 71, Highway 95, Highway 21. That's where the heaviest of the rain is. Cedar Creek, Bastrop, Clearview, Lake Bastrop, Sayersville. And continuing to push off toward the north and northeast at about 50. I'll go ahead and do another track for you. And here we go. So some new towns and times for you. 12:30 right now. Sayersville should be pretty much over you. Littig, 12:35. Elgin, 12:38. Page, 12:41. Copeland, 12:47. Byersville, 12:51. And Nowak, about 12:55. So what's interesting is, because of the fact that these storms are doing what we call train, which is move over the same areas again and again, spots like Thrall, which are currently getting this batch of heavy storms, will then see the next batch of heavy storms move through. So right now, I suspect that the heaviest axis of rainfall is going to be through this area that I've drawn these not too well-crafted arrows on. But in general, that's what I'm looking at in terms of where the highest rainfall totals will probably be out of this, what we're currently seeing. Pretty heavy downpours pushing right through Round Rock as well. You can see a little bit of lightning. So from Wells Branch, Pflugerville, Round Rock, I-35 corridor, 45 Toll Road, pretty heavy rain there. Let me check the rainfall rates on this. And just a little bit of lightning, but this is not severe, it's sub-severe. Rain rates over that area 1 to 2 inches per hour. Keeping in mind it's moving instead of stalling, so it's not going to dump 1 to 2 inches of rain on you unless it continues to rain for the next hour over your area. Lauren says, Lauren and Ruby here. Good evening. Good evening right back to you. Hope you're doing great. Austin, I'm still hearing the rain over my head here at our studios in North Austin, but it looks as though on the west side of Travis County, things are not nearly as intense. And in fact, the rain is more spotty in nature as you head farther to the west from areas of Burnett, Llano, Mason, Gillespie, Blanco counties, and even Hays County, where you were seeing the really heavy rain earlier. It looks like it has lightened up in a pretty good way. I'll go ahead and put on the full radar view and widen it out a little bit and loop this for you, because the area of low pressure that is spinning out west is still bringing some snow into far west Texas, eastern New Mexico. Thankfully, we're not dealing with that here. Can you imagine thunder snow, which is one of the coolest phenomena ever? But instead, we're sitting at 57 degrees and no worries about wintry weather this go around. Wouldn't surprise me if some way, like later on in the future, I mean, we haven't even hit winter officially. Wouldn't surprise me if we deal with some minor snow or ice events down the pike, just not out of this today. So still monitoring the strongest of the cells pushing through eastern Wilco, now into Milam, central Bastrop, and pushing right into Round Rock. A little bit of heavier rain and storm activity. So those are the 3 spots. Let me check the hail core again, and still behaving. No purples there. Now along Highway 79 in eastern Williamson County, heading toward western Milam County. And still holding on with the potential of some sub-severe hail. So Thorndale and Highway 79 east of Thrall, County Road 426, County Road 436. I can move in a little closer. County Road 427, County Road 437, and County Road 436. Out there, it seems all the roads are just numbers. You don't have any fun names, at least not there. But that's where there could be, yet again, some sub-severe hail. And Detmold and San Gabriel probably going to be next, along with Thorndale, to see some of that. Ooh, I think that the rain has diminished. It's not raining as heavily outside. All right, as long as this cell in eastern Wilco doesn't pulse up anymore, I think we're not doing too badly. Checking in on Bastrop, still one little itty-bitty pixel showing possibility of some hail, which is slightly below severe limits. Let me zoom in and I'll give you some locators for it. Lone Star Circle, Greisenbeck Ranch Road, or Greisenbeck, I don't know how to pronounce it, Trigg Road, and this is along FM 304, Highway 304. Red Rock Road and Hunters Point Drive. So this is just on the southwest side of Bastrop, just south of Highway 21. A little area where there might be some brief small hail, and this is all tracking north-northeast. So it will be, if it continues. Oh, and the radar updates, and it has already tracked north-northeast. So now we're looking at Phelan, Lake Bastrop area, and maybe Camp Swift, but you can see that the blue has really dropped, so there's probably not much left of this in terms of hail potential, but pea-sized hail perhaps. Green Oaks Drive, right along Highway 95, Sayers Road, Smith Road, in Bastrop County, and this is going to be north of Old McDade Road as well, and north of Main Street, north of Bastrop and heading toward the Camp Swift area. Head north again, check out the hail potential in eastern Wilco and western sections of Milam County. So it is now north of Thrall, north of Thorndale, right near the Detmold area, east of Sandoval and east of Hare, where there's the most likelihood of seeing some possible hail, less than, let's see, probably less than a ½ inch in diameter. Let me just double check. Yep, down to a 1/3 of an inch in diameter is what the latest radar scan is showing. So maybe some very small, like pea-sized hail, County Road 425, County Road 426, between eastern Wilco and western sections of Milam County. I think things are quieting down. You know what that means? This means I might make my great escape. Technically, at 1 a.m., I am handing the proverbial baton over to Austin Burks, who is going to cover any potential like flare-ups from here on out. But honestly, I think that we're probably going to be okay. I was actually a bit surprised that we even had those 2 storms that did briefly show 1-inch diameter hail. Hopefully no one experienced any damage. I was looking to see if there were any additional storm reports coming from the National Weather Service in terms of hail reports. And I don't believe that there have been any additional ones since those 3 that were earlier in the day, earlier in the nighttime hours. There was the one in Bexar County near San Antonio, and then there was one in Geronimo, which is in Guadalupe County, and then one that was in Caldwell County. Those 3 hail reports came in, and each of those was below severe limits. But we know some areas did indeed see some hail. So there you have it. Okay, I think one more look at radar, and then we're just going to give it a night, call it a night. 12:38 in the morning. And heaviest storms over Bastrop and moving out of Wilco and into Milam County. Everything else behaving. I'll do one more check of rainfall totals. See, it's tough getting me to relinquish the reins here. When it rains, and I feel like I need to be manning the radar, babysitting the radar. So clearly, the heaviest of the rain has been those areas in green, some spots around 1 inch through eastern Travis, eastern Hays, eastern Wilco, and also some pockets of around 1 inch in Bastrop as well as Caldwell counties. Meantime, those of you in Fayette County, some spots have not seen a single bit of rain. My little radar app tells me intermittent rain is possible. So the heavy rain, I still hear it out there. I don't think I'm quite ready to make a break for it until I stop hearing heavy rain over my head, because there's nothing worse than getting drenched as you head out the door. Mind you, I always come prepared. This waterproof raincoat will keep me dry, but still, I'd much rather not be running out to my car in a driving rain. So I may hang out here just a little bit longer, just because I can. One good thing is no alarm for the morning, so at least we've got that going for us. It's been nice having a week off for school too for the kids. Let's see. Oh, Beth says you're getting the big to-do. Chicks chats more often. The bug. I liked it when I got to do it from home all the time, though, but it really, as it stands, where I usually go live from home is in our playroom, which is right next to my daughter's room. So I don't think I'm loud when I do these chats, but my husband's always like, I hear you.
And I feel like my daughter is a pretty heavy sleeper, but I'm kind of like, ideally, I should probably just do them here while I'm at work when I can. But it is awfully nice to be like cozy, no makeup, wearing sweats, hanging out with the dogs when I do the chat. So never say never. At least for now, I think we're going to wind this one down and go back to radar one more time. If nothing else, than to check for myself and see if if I can get out of the station without getting soaked. Oh, so everything's quiet now in Caldwell and Hays counties. The heaviest storms moving north of Bastrop, making a run toward northern Bastrop County. So McDade, Page, Elgin, that's where the heavier rain and thunder is moving. Those of you in Wilco, just about out of the thunder and lightning as it's moving from Granger Lake to San Gabriel, Sharp, and Davila in Milam County. And I hear the rain still going over my head, but at least it's not the reds, it's the yellows, which are lower rainfall rates. So some of these oranges, this will move out pretty quickly. I think that by the time I pack up all my stuff, I can probably get to my car without too much trouble. And then, given the fact that the rain, though intense, should be lightening up, that should give me my window of time to be able to make it home for the weekend. Um, Beth says you miss the pups. Oh, they need to be groomed like nobody's business. I am in a situation where our groomer moved out of state, and we haven't found someone new. And we had a couple of people that were recommended, but I don't know what it is about groomers. They are booked solid or not taking new customers. So literally, Skippy and Ewok look like, well, Ewok looks like an Ewok, literally. And Skippy looks like Chewbacca, literally, because both of the boys need to be groomed so badly. They look like Yetis. Meanwhile, my daughter tells me that she would like, what was the breed that she wanted? She wants a Husky Pomeranian. She has a friend who has a Husky Pomeranian, which I actually do think Huskies are beautiful, and I used to have a Pom. So anyway, her friend that has a Husky Pom, apparently it's the cutest dog ever. And so that's what my daughter says she wants now. And she seems to think that we have room in our house for a third dog. It's not going to happen. Nope, nope, nope. But I think it's cute that she's such a dog lover. It's good. Lauren says, I bet Skippy and Ewok are ready for me to get home and drive safe. I plan on it. Yeah, probably by the time I get home, there will be nobody still awake at my house. My my older sister is visiting from out of town, and she stayed up late with me the other night when after work I decided it was time to make the broccoli salad for Thanksgiving. But I have a feeling even she will probably be asleep by the time I get home. And then that means because we have a house guest that I have to like creep into the house like the Pink Panther, as opposed to making a big loud racket when I get there. Laura says Christmas coming up, third dog's a charm. Nope, nope, nope. And here's the other thing. Several members of my family think that we should have a cat, and I am not a cat person. Any of you who are cat people, I totally respect you. My sister has 2 cats. She loves them. I'm just not a cat person. So, yeah, my daughter has decided that she needs um, a husky pom, and she wants a tabby cat. And I'm kind of like, that's just not, nope, nope, nope. Not gonna happen. Not on my watch, right? Connie says she might have missed it. When will the rain be over? Your daughter and grandbaby will be driving down from Houston tomorrow. So our rain in Austin should be gone by 8 in the morning. And then sunshine's gonna develop, and it should end up being a lovely day, a breezy day, but a lovely day. And then the rest of the weekend's looking dry and quiet. So your family should be looking at dry roads and smooth sailing. Laura says neither is Ruby. She'll kill a cat. Looking out the window for cats. I love it. Uh, and Beth says, never say never. Dun dun dun. Yeah, I do have to say, I love the fact that pets, unlike people, do provide unconditional love. Like, there is nothing better than when I open up the door and the dogs are literally waiting on the other side for me, which is always nice. Skippy more so than Ewok. That's because we've had Skippy for longer. But, and I feel like Skippy is more, he's like my cuddle buddy, but I feel like Ewok is my husband's cuddle buddy. And I think Ewok is aware of the fact that I'm not quite as generous with the treats as my husband is. So I think he's kind of got my husband figured out. And on the other hand, I'm like, instead of being like a one treat person, I cut the treat in half and give half to Skipper and half to Ewok, and my husband gives one to each of them. So yeah, I think the Ewok is definitely aware of who gives the better treats. So he plays favorites. He likes my husband better. Connie says, nice. Thank you so much. You're so welcome. Celia says she didn't used to be a cat person, but now you've got grand kitty, so you're in favor now. Yeah, I would say, I guess I haven't really been around cats that much, but I guess I'm such a dog person that I just, the idea of having a cat, I'm like, nope, 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 nope. I just like dogs that cuddle with me. Skippy takes naps with me. He will take like 2-hour naps with me, and it's just the best. And maybe cats do that too, but yeah, definitely partial to dogs. All right, I think it's time. The light rain, I'm hearing it, and it's light, it's not heavy, and evidence of said change in the intensity is that we're now down to just some yellows and light greens. Things are winding down. And so with that, thanks you guys for hanging out with me. It's always fun. I know it's been a while, but it took a couple severe thunderstorm warnings to bring us back together again. All right. You guys take care. Have an awesome weekend. And if you got nothing better to do, CBS Austin, 10 p.m. Saturday night, check out my story on the pecan season. And if you miss it, as always, I will post it on social media so that you'll be able to get the latest and the greatest. Take care, you guys. Have a great night. See y'all later. Oh, and then if things should change and get crazy again, which I don't think they will, Austin Burks has you covered. Starting in 10 minutes and 54 seconds, he will have you covered. And through the weekend as well. All right, you guys, have a good one. Take care. Talk to you later.